Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashers, and today we're going to try a delicious alternative to healthy eating. I've got a spaghetti squash that I have just finished cutting in half, and this does take a little time and a lot of muscles. So this is something that you have to be very careful doing. With the spaghetti squash, I'm going to take the insides, the seeds, right out. Okay, this takes a little bit of elbow grease too, but you want all those seeds out. And after we get these seeds out, we're going to bake it in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes. You can already see, if you've never tried spaghetti squash before, the look of the texture of the squash. It's already starting to look like spaghetti noodles. Of course, vermicelli, because it's very thin. And once you try this, you'll absolutely love it. Low-calorie meal, and delicious to boot. Okay, let me grab paper towel real quick. We're going to bake this on its face, on the cut side down. And all I'm doing right now is just brushing the face of it with some olive oil. Want to keep it nice and moist while it's in the oven. All right. I'm going to take just a little bit of salt and pepper, just a touch to season it. Let's get all that out of there. And cleanup purposes, during the summer we don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen that we don't have to, so let's cover our pan with some foil here like I did. And I'm going to put this in the oven real quick. 400 degrees, about 45 minutes. And while that's starting to work, I'm going to get my chicken ready. Let's get rid of this. Chicken's going to go in the oven at about the same length of time as the squash. And all I'm going to do is take another sheet pan. I'm just going to put a little bit of this olive oil down, since I've got the brush and the oil. With your chicken, I'm using chicken breasts, and these have the skin on them. You can certainly take the skins off if that's the way you like it. But we're going to put these right on my pan, just an equal distance apart. And salt and pepper. And if you'd like, you can put a little garlic salt on top too. I just like to do this with salt and pepper myself. I have enough flavor coming out of the spaghetti squash with our zucchini. All right, some salt. And this goes in the oven right underneath, or right over top, excuse me, of my squash. Now, let's just move this over here and start with our squashes. This is a summer squash type recipe because we're using 3 different kinds, which is absolutely fun. And I'm going to turn this on Get that pan warm. Couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And we're going to cook the squash till it's tender but crunchy. Want that little bit of crunch. Now this recipe is part of our Friends and Family series that we're doing. And this recipe is from our production manager, Jennifer Beasley. So we got to thank her for this one because she is very health conscious and a really good cook. Alright. Got that in. Starting to hear that lovely sizzle. Let's throw our zucchini in. You can see we've got a fair amount here. This is 2 large yellow squash, 2 large zucchinis. Let's grab a Now I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. Alright, this is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes to come down. We're going to stir it occasionally, but let's talk about some of the other alternatives that we have with this dish. If I need any more oil for my zucchinis, I'm going to use a little bit of coconut oil. And if you wish, you can use coconut oil instead of olive oil. It's absolutely phenomenal oil. You can also add mushrooms if you'd like. Just wash your mushrooms right before you get ready to slice them. Throw those in. This is a dish that's as you like it. You can top it with a white sauce, a red sauce, a cheese sauce. You can do it like we're doing it today with just Parmesan cheese. So let's watch this again. Give it another little turn. Alright, this has been cooking about 6 minutes, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off the heat right now because I wanted to pre-cook this while my chicken and spaghetti squash were cooking, so it's ready just about when things come out. So I'm going to just pull that over there. We're going to finish it up in a few minutes when our squash and chicken are ready. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and do our sumptuous secret recipe cake. See you in a few.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
Welcome back. I've got Jennifer Beasley with me, our production manager, and she's the one who found this recipe. So I'm going to let you tell me a little bit about what brought this about.
Well, this cake, I should tell you, my husband and I started, kind of flipped our lives upside down with clean eating a couple years ago. We wanted to lose a little bit of weight and just start eating a little bit healthier and try and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Well, not too long after that, I found out from my doctor that I actually have a gluten allergy, which means I can't eat wheat or barley or rye or anything like that. I get a rash from it. So there was one day that I wanted a chocolate cake so bad, and I couldn't even take it. I'm a chocoholic, and so I started looking on Pinterest, and I found the recipe for this black bean chocolate cake, and I made it. And I didn't tell my husband that it was black beans. And when I asked him what he thought of it, he was like, "This is really good." And I said, "Well, guess what it's made out of?" And he said, "What?" And I was like, "Black beans." He's like, "You're kidding me." So I brought it to my father-in-law, who actually can't eat gluten either. He has a sensitivity to it. And this is his favorite gluten-free chocolate cake. So we make it a lot.
You make 2 at a time, I'll bet you.
I do make 2 at a time, but this is... You can eat this tons of different ways. You can do whipped cream on there. We have a recipe for a healthy version of buttercream frosting that we'll share on Facebook. You can just do it with berries or whatnot, however you like it, the way that you like it.
That's great. Well, just so you see, we're going to start with black beans. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, the first thing we need to do is take our black beans, put them in a colander, And make sure you get all of them out. And rinse them off. We're going to let these sit for just a minute, just after we get all of the residue. Okay. Just shake the excess. We're going to let it sit here for a few minutes and drain out. Okay. Now, this is a cake that Jennifer told me sometimes has a little bit of difficulty coming out of the pan. And so what I have done is I'm spraying the pan with Pam. Any kind of spray is good. Then I'm taking a paper towel and I'm just going to go completely over the pan to get all that excess out, but let it do the job. All right, we've got some cocoa, and I'm just going to put some in the bottom of this pan. I'm going to coat the whole pan with the cocoa. And I come over my trash can here so I can get the sides good, because it always takes a little bit more than what I think. And I always tap to get the excess out. And I've got a parchment paper round that I cut earlier today, and I'm putting that right on top of the cocoa. Now, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to spray a little bit on the parchment side, paper towel, and I just want to get a little bit of oil all the way around. Okay, that's ready to set right there. And we're going to start with our batter. All right, I've got my blender here, and I'm going to put my black beans in first. Just make sure all the excess is out, excess liquid. And we're going to put these beans right in to the blender. Okay. This is the easy part. 3 eggs. Some salt. And some vanilla. All together. And we are going to blend this until there are no lumps or bumps. Okay? Put the power on. Alright, we're going to take a quick look now. And that looks pretty good. Probably do it one more time before I add it to the rest of our batter. Okay, second step. I'm using coconut oil. You can use butter. Use unsalted organic if you do. But I've got coconut oil because I wanted to see what that flavor brought to the cake. So I'm surprising Jennifer with this one. And we're going to beat this for just a few minutes until it gets fluffy. Alright, I think that's mixed up fairly well. Now, honey. We've got 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons. And I'm just drizzling it in. If you'd like, you can use stevia. It does work well, but I like the naturalness of honey, and I think Jennifer does too. Okay, things are coming together. It's turned a nice golden color. Now I'm going to turn it off just a sec and scrape down the sides a little bit. And you can do this with a hand mixer. All right, I'm going to put in 1 egg at a time. And we're going to blend for just about a minute. It's time for that second egg. While that's doing, I'm going to take some baking powder and mix it with 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And just want to mix that nice and strongly here. Get everything so you can't see any white. Alright, while that's finishing, I'm going to blend this again just for another minute so I make sure everything is all together. So let's put this back on. Okay, you wouldn't even know these are black beans now. Alright, I'm going to turn this off for just a moment, start with my bean mixture, and on low, I'm going to bring it down. Let's see if we need to get some more out of there. Almost gone. You don't have to. Alright, let's give it a good mix. This is a very thin batter, and you'd be surprised how in 35 to 40 minutes it turns into that beautiful cake. Alright, let's put in our cocoa powder and baking powder, and I'm just going to put a little bit in at a time. Oh, it smells like chocolate now. Alright, I'm going to bring it down for just a second. Get all that cocoa powder into my batter. And we're going to start again. All right, I'm going to stop this real fast because I think we've got this. Let's put this over here. I'm going to bring my pan over. And you can tell how thin this batter is. Just pour it right over the top. Your parchment will lay down. All right. Now, if you don't want bubbles in your cake, grab a hold, just give it a couple good taps. Makes those bubbles get right out of there. Into a 350 oven for between 35 and 45 minutes. Depends on your oven temperature. So, it's almost time that we look at our chicken and our spaghetti squash. But we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back after I clean up a little bit.
ATMC TV and the Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. For over 25 years, the Holden Brothers Farm Market has specialized in the freshest locally grown produce on their 250 acres in Charlotte. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Welcome back. I think it's time to look at our chicken and test our spaghetti squash. That chicken should be done right now. Let's grab this out. Ooh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm just going to set that right there. Let's grab this for a sec. Oh, it's done. All you have to do is press that little finger and it's ready. All right. Now this has got to cool for a few minutes because you can't do this while this is so hot. Let's put this oven back together and we're going to wait just a few minutes. I'm going to turn it over and let it start to cool. Doesn't that look great? Now these have got to cool for a few minutes so I don't burn my hands. So let's just let this sit and we're going to make a red wine spritzer. And I got a treat, we're going to make a white one too. Okay, spritzer, real easy. Just make sure that your wine is very cold. Fill wine glasses with ice, and we're going to fill this up about halfway. Now, you have options here too. It's the way you like it. We can use club soda, or we can use 7-Up Sprite. And I'm going to use Sprite in my red. Give it a little sangria flavor. Put a little bit of lemon there. And on my white, let's fill this up. The big thing about a wine spritzer is it saves on calories, it saves on the alcohol level, and you can feel a little bit healthier about drinking some wine. Okay, I think we can go back now to our spaghetti squash. Just rinse my hands just a sec. And I think that I am probably going to have to use something to keep me from getting so warm in the fingers. Now you can see I'm using a fork and I'm just separating it from the skin. And I'm going to put it right in the middle of my platter. The smell is fabulous. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to let this cool just a little bit longer. I'm going to finish up my zucchini so it's ready to go on. All right, back on medium heat. This only takes about 3 minutes to warm back up because it's still got a little warmth to it right now. Okay, finishing up with this, we've got some garlic powder. Just sprinkle it all over the top. This breaks the fiber of the vegetables down a little bit faster too. So we'll mix that up. Got some parsley. Use dried parsley in this dish. Oh, the smells are phenomenal. All right, while that's finishing, we're going to finish our spaghetti squash. All right, this is the last of the spaghetti squash. Just get every last little bit in. You can see it's still steaming, and you can see how much volume that one squash provides. This is fabulous. Okay, let's put this over here. I've got to finish up my zucchini now. We're going to give it a quick toss. Let me turn this down just a touch. Okay. A little bit of salt. Some pepper. And we're going to give it one more quick toss. Almost there. All right, let me grab something real fast here. And I'm going to get a piece of my chicken and put it on my board right here, because what I want to do is I want to cut this up. You can leave your chicken whole if you'd like, but what we're going to do is we're just going to make a nice presentation to put this breast right on the top. This skin is absolutely perfect. Okay. I'm just going to cut it into cubes. So this is ready, and my zucchini is ready. Let's take this right now, and we are going to put it right in the center of our spaghetti squash. Okay, spread it out just a little bit. We're going to put some chicken on top. And just in case somebody wants a whole piece, let's put this on the side. All right, I'm going to put everything back together. We're going to have a last word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to take a taste.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
We're just about ready to finish up with another meal at the Coastal Kitchen. I can't wait to take a bite. Let's see what we've got. Spaghetti squash with zucchini and yellow squash, a little bit of chicken on top. I've made a very small salad with tomatoes, onions, and balsamic drizzle. We've got our chocolate cake with black beans as the surprise, blueberries, and a little cantaloupe to garnish. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my spritzer here, and remember, you can find us on Facebook. Just search for the Coastal Kitchen. We've got great recipes and a few other little tidbits you might be interested in. See you next time.